Hey there, how's it going? What's up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is back to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your MUT team. Enjoy the show. Today we have another top 10. I am excited to bring this to you. This is quite timely as the draft just occurred, and some of these draft players are starting to drop in price as people want picks and value them less and less. These players are starting to even out with their other 98, 99 counterparts. So this is something to really think about and go out and get. Some of these players are very quick, or they have a high block shed and power move, like this Farrell. Farrell actually did not make the list. He is a quite impressive player along with Nick Bosa, but they are not quite as good as some of these other players, which kind of shows you if a 98 can't make the list. There are some quite good ones on here. So let's get things kicked off with number 10. And here's the man to start the list, Josh Allen. We have him here at 90 speed, has a solid finesse move. He's really kind of a player that you can have in situations that you just send him after the quarterback. And with that phenomenal height, he can play a few different positions, have him in a QB spy. Looks a lot like a Jason Taylor, and yeah, can't really say enough about that. He is actually crazily similar to him. I wonder if they just changed up a few of those characteristics. Does not quite have the catching that Taylor has, but for a defensive lineman, that is not that poor either. Coming in at number 9, we have TJ Hawkinson. Really phenomenal, kind of situational player. He's probably not going to be the best player if you pass the ball quite a bit, but if you run the ball and run the ball 60% of the time, he's going to be the right player for you. He doesn't quite stack up with a Gronkowski, and as you can see, Vernon would probably be better in certain pass offenses, but his run blocking really stands out. Um, Amongst other really good top end players. He looks very similar to a Hunter Henry. I would probably take a Henry over him, but out of this pool of players, he really could be a second or a third tight end for you for the rest of the year. Even if you do pass the ball frequently and just bring him in on the goal line, he also is 6'5" and has those phenomenal, spectacular catching abilities as well. Coming in at number 8, we have Rashawn Gary. Part of the reason he is here is that he is at a position that there are not that many good players. I recently looked over the left outside linebacker pool, and it is not nearly as good as the right outside linebacker pool. So this player could come in for the best teams and be a special teams player and also be a great player at stopping the run. But if you are kind of middle of the pack, he could be your starter and do a tremendous job in 3-4 schemes. He could also come in and play defensive end and do a great job at that as well. He really is not going to be able to drop back for you. His agility is really low, which is a knock on him as well. Catching's not really there, so I would definitely send him after the quarterback or have him try to stop the run. You can probably play him in a 4-3 and play him at that defensive end as well. There are some right outside linebackers that could fill that void, but since there are not that many good left outside linebackers, he really could fit well there. Coming in at number 7, we have Marquise Brown. He is an absolute burner. This is a little bit of a budget beast, to be honest. He is very inexpensive if you go and look at the 94 and 95s. He can come in and play and be a good kickoff returner for you, or be your fifth wide receiver and just be a burner when your other wide receivers get tired. There's not really a good pool of wide receivers that came out from them. This isn't going to be a good goal line guy by any means, but he will be tremendous. As you can see, his agility, acceleration are very high. Carrying is not quite where you need it to be, but he has all of those almost running back style um, attributes to be able to avoid defenders, so I would definitely advise throwing some screens to him as well. Coming in at number 6, we have Quinnen Williams. He is possibly, I think he is the best defensive tackle for certain schemes. He's a little bit bigger than Mean Joe is, so that is the one plus for him. I guess we can't see his weight there compared to Mean Joe, um, but his strength and block shed are a little bit lower. Obviously, you can chem up that block shed really easily, and he has that finesse move, which kind of makes him stand out in a different way than Mean Joe does. I do believe Quinnen will be on my team at some point just to see if that finesse move can really stand out. I did have him for a short period of time on draft night. I traded him away as the pick's value went down a little bit. He's starting to get to the range that I would consider picking him up again. If you don't have a Mean Joe yet, Quinnen is a really great fit if you put uh, run stuff or pass rush on him. Either one of those will get him up to that 99 overall that a lot of people are going for at this time. Great speed, great acceleration. The reason he's so low is, as you've seen, there are some very fast and very large players that play at the defensive end position, and I do have a couple more coming up. So you can put them in and allow them to play that position. They'll be able to get to those faster quarterbacks, and if they're running stretches or sweeps, they'll be able to actually get there. Quinnen fits if you're having issues being ran up the middle against you. Zones are really, really powerful and can be really frustrating, so he could be good there. If you want to put Mean Joe and Quinnen in a 4-3, that could be really dangerous. But the short time I did have him on draft night, he didn't really show up. And I don't play defensive tackles that often. Mean Joe is a great fit for me. Really just depends on your scheme if Quinnen will be a great fit for you. Coming in at number 5, we have Brian Burns. As you can see, that 92 speed at a left end position is absolutely phenomenal. The other men that kind of compare with him, Khalil Mack and Julius Peppers, only at that 90 speed, so he is an absolute asset. He is a little bit low in that block shed, but you can scheme that up with run stuff to get that to 90 really easily. Like I was talking about with the previous player, Quinnen Williams, he's you can get you can get 9 more speed on the field with this player if you switch him into defensive tackle position, especially in nickel formations. He'd be a lot more valuable for you. So that is why I have him a little bit higher. You could even play him at a linebacker position and have him do very well. He has a lot better catching than almost every defensive lineman out there. As you compare him to Julius Peppers, that's not really all that fair. He's another Panther, so also not the best for the Panthers, but you can just add both of them onto the defensive line and run QB spies and different schemes with them and be very dangerous. At number 4, we have Devin Bush. Looking across from Ryan Shazier, it's fairly comparable. Obviously, he does lack the strength and the hit power that Shazier does have. Zone coverage is actually a little bit lower as well, but we can compare someone to the Muttmaster, and it's not all that far off. It is kind of scary. We'll go down and see exactly. Well, his impact blocking is not nearly as high either. Does have a tremendous finesse move. But this player is a safety that plays the middle linebacker position. You can play him at outside linebacker, and he'll do a tremendous job at that. Another thing that he has over Shaz is his man coverage. You can get that to a 90 and allow him to hit that threshold and really be able to keep up with players. We need to go back up again. He is tremendous at being able to keep up with players and kind of play on his own. His agility is a little bit lower than Shaz's as well. So if you do like running two linebackers sets with nickel, or if you run a 3-4 and don't have a Ray Lewis, you can do a tremendous job of scheming him in and playing him like a safety and still being able to stop the run very well. Coming in at number 3, we have Montez Sweat. To be honest, I was considering putting him at number 1, but since he is 95 overall and his speed's at 95 and acceleration's at 97, they kind of had to cut away at some other attributes for him. So unless you do have him on the Redskins team, he will be probably at that number 3 spot. He is 6'6" and has those speed and acceleration that I had noted are just absolutely off the charts. He cannot catch the ball quite as well. Have had a few comments about that he was able to come out down with a spectacular catch. Have not been able to see that myself, but am going to continue to try to drop him back and rush him depending on who I am playing. He'll be able to keep up with any quarterback and a QB spy. Just his hands are a little bit wanting, are really the only knock on him. He's not going to be the best in the run game either, but he's definitely going to be capable and can sprint and catch up to anything going away from him or going to the sideline, which are the runs a lot of people really do like to toss against you in head to head. Oh wow, he's so much cheaper than what he was. Coming in at number 2, Kyler Murray. I actually have had him since draft night. I have noticed that his price has went down about 100,000, which hurts a little bit, but he has been a lot of fun to play with. Him being 5'10" is fairly close to my height. I might be a little bit taller than him, but it's fun to just run around with someone about your size. Vic is left-handed, so that's a little bit different than myself as well. But really looking at his attributes are just absolutely unreal. He's a near perfect passer. You probably do want to throw on go deep. I have been playing with play fake. I like the quarterbacks to have a little bit of touch, and you just have to throw those deep routes a little bit early, which can be a little bit frustrating in head to head because you do need to wait a couple extra steps for your Randy Moss or Calvin Johnson to be able to separate. So I am working on that a little bit and trying to find a happy medium. But when he's getting attempting to be tackled in the backfield, he just bounces off people. He is tremendous at being able to just evade people and toss the ball down the field. He is tremendous athlete and he is a great asset to your team. He just is not number 1 because he does not necessarily stand out beyond Lamar Jackson or a Vic. He obviously can pass the ball a little bit better and more consistently than them, but he's not even necessarily as fast as them. He can't quite get to that 99 speed. Coming in at number 1, we have Devin White. He is someone that just absolutely stands out and is better than something than every other middle linebacker, and that is being able to cover. You can see that 94 zone here, and we can go down and look at his man, but he has 95 speed, which can get him up to that 98. Not very easily, but it is capable with the Madden physical and sprinter, but you can see the 90 man coverage, and also he comes with that 94 finesse move. So you can see he is a little bit better than Devin Bush at pretty much everything. His agility is a little bit lower, so that is a knock on him. But you can do everything that you do with a safety with this player, and he might be able to do it better. His strength is not quite what you want top-notch run stuffing middle linebacker to be, but he is definitely capable, and he will bring the wood as well. As you all know, Deion Sanders can lay hit sticks in this game. So Devin White, who has that souped up middle linebacker ability, can definitely do so as well. So Devin White is definitely the player out of all of them I would go out and get. I know some players fit better on theme teams, and you are able to get them to certain levels that you would think that they would be better than these players. Definitely know which of those players you have been playing with down below, and let me know if some of these players do look better on your theme team. Most of these are the top end players. A lot of the lower end ones just kind of fit on theme teams, I do believe. But there are some very speedy players that fit in different situations as well. But I appreciate you all stopping in, and I wish you the best. Take care. Thank you for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back to get better at Madden and grow your MUT team. There will be at least 5 videos up a week, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage and hit me up on Twitter at Irish Orangutan. Take care and much love, everybody.